I'm Shelly Turner with the Builderall team. In this video, we're going to add some more content to our website, and what we're going to do is work on the second section and the third section, and we're going to get that ready for you to be able to go live. So let's go ahead and jump into the editor and get started making the second and the third section. So here I am in the editor. We've got our header done, we've got the first section done, and now we're going to work on the second section. To do that, I'm going to just go ahead and add a new banner. So I'm going to go to plus, and then I'm going to go to banner, and I'm just going to choose that very first one, and I'm just going to click it. And now I have a brand new banner, and I'm going to click and drag it down here, and I'm going to make sure that my footer is pulled down so I got plenty of room to work with my banner. And let's go to the original and see what color this banner should be. So this is the second section we're doing, and it looks like the banner needs to be white, so we'll work with a white banner. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this arrow and pull it up to the bottom of the previous section. Then I'm going to right click and I'm going to go to Appearance, and on the colors I'm going to choose, instead of blue, I'll click it and choose white. And now we're ready to go using that banner. Now we're going to add an image, so I'm going to go to the plus sign, and I'm going to go to Image, and I'm just going to click that top one. And I'm going to close this box. We're going to go to the original and see exactly what image we need to pull. And it looks like it's going to be what looks like a fruit stand. So let's see if we can find that image and pull it into this web page. So I'm going to right click and I'm going to go to Change Image. And here's my digital file repository. I'm going to go to Fruit Stand, and I'm going to look for the image that looks like a fruit stand. So it doesn't look like I have that one uploaded, so I'm going to just choose a different one. So let's go ahead and choose this image right here. So I'm going to click it and then click Confirm. So now I have this image in there, and I can either choose to keep this image exactly the way it is, or I can crop a little bit out of it. So let's see if we can crop some, maybe take some of this bottom off. So I'm going to right click and I'm going to go to Edit. And then I'm going to go across here at the top and find Crop, which is right here. And you'll see that there's some handles on each corner. You just click and drag those handles, and that will allow you to resize, reshape this picture to exactly the size that you want and exactly the material that you want to stay in your picture. So I've cropped it. I'm going to go ahead and click Apply and then Save. And you'll see that it will change this picture on the web page to match exactly what I cropped out. So now this picture is ready to use, and now I need to add some text. I'm going to go to the original, and I've got some text right here. It looks like it's actually covered up, but I'm going to click and drag through it and copy, and then I'm going to go back to the editor, and I'm going to do a plus and go to text, and I'm going to choose the biggest text, and then I'm going to double click in there to put my cursor in there, triple click to highlight all of it, and then I'm going to paste that text right inside of there. And I'm going to make it so that it's our company has 10 professional and then fresh fruit experts, and then I'm going to make this a little longer, just like this, so that all of this appears on this line and then all of this appears on that line. So now I can actually start working with putting it in the right place, just like that. So that's fabulous. So now I'm going to look at the original and see what other text I need. And I'm going to grab this text right here, and I'm going to copy it. And this one is a little bit smaller, so I'm going to change the size of it to match what the size is on this page. And then this area is bolded, so I'm going to bold. So let me go back to the editor, and we're going to highlight in there and drag through it. And then I'm going to go to the text style, which is the H1 right now, and I'm going to maybe change it to the H2. That's a little bit big, maybe H3. That's pretty good. And then I'm going to double click in there and drag over where it says 10 professional, and I'm going to click bold. And now that's kind of standing out a little bit better, so I like that a little bit better. And then I'm going to resize this right here to make it a little bit smaller to actually match that size. So that looks better. Now let's add a new text box with the text that we just copied. And I'm going to make that maybe title medium. And I'm going to double click in there to put my cursor in there, triple click to highlight it all, and then paste. And this is actually great. I'm going to go ahead and expand it a little bit to take up a little bit less room. And I want you to notice too that I'm trying to make sure I'm conserving space, and I don't want to make too much white space from the first section to the second section. You definitely want to use white space on a website or on a web page very, very carefully. Users will their eyes will get tired if you have way too much white space, but if you don't have enough, it'll look too crowded. So you have to strike a balance pretty well for it to work real well for you. So we've got this set up. I'm going to go ahead and double click in there and then Control A to choose everything. And now I can choose how I want to align my text. I can do left justify, center, right justify, or I can choose to just justify the whole thing. And that kind of gives it an even right side and an even left side. So let me click that, and you'll see it makes that text look nice and clean, almost like it's inside of a book. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that and expand it just a little bit more. And now we have it taking up a good amount of space, and then we have the picture on there. So that looks great so far. Now I have a little bit more text, so I'm going to go to the original. And I've got some really, really small text right here, which is typically used to describe the picture. So I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to go back to the editor. And I'm going to add another text box, but this time when I add the text box, I'm going to add it smaller. So maybe I'll go with the body medium. There it is right there. And I'm going to go ahead and double click to put my cursor in there, triple click to highlight it all, and then paste that text. And so it's inside there, and I'm going to put it right under the picture, and then I'm going to resize this so it goes right underneath the picture. And then this is not quite centered, so I'm going to kind of create a little bit of space there. So we use our space as best we can. We'll align it with this top right here. Then we've got the image, and then we've got the description of the image right there. And now if I click right here, you can see the outline of the banner. And you can see there's quite a bit of white space in the banner right here, but not that much up there. We want about the same amount of space, so I'm going to click this little circle, and I'm going to drag it up and create about the same amount of space that I have available at the bottom as I do the top. That's going to be easier on the eyes for the visitors to your website. It'll look a lot neater. So let's go ahead and click Save because we've made a lot of changes, and then Save again. And now we've got all our changes saved, and now we're going to do the next banner. So let's jump over to the original. And the next banner looks like it has an image on it, and then it's got some text and some scrolling numbers. So let's go ahead and start tackling that. So I'm going to jump back into the editor, and I'm going to add another banner. So I'm going to go plus and a banner, and we're just going to click that first one, and we've added a new banner. And I'm going to click and drag. I'm not going to use the arrow because I want it to drag over everything and not move everything. And then I'm going to move my footer out of the way. And now what I'm going to do is take that arrow and drag it up, and it will stop at the bottom of that previous section. And remember, I want an image on this. Let's take a look at the image really quickly. And it looks like we've got some dragon fruit and a little sign that says $5. So let's see if we can find that picture. So to change the banner to add an image to the background, I'm going to right click and go to Appearance. And I'm going to make sure that I've chosen the banner that goes completely across the screen. Then I'm going to go to Images, and I'm going to choose to upload the picture. That opens my file repository, and then I'm going to go to the fruit stand area and see if I can find my picture. So it doesn't look like we have that exact picture, so I'm going to choose this one and then click Confirm. And now I've got a picture added there, and this is the one we'll use for this section since we don't have the exact picture from the original website. So now that I've got the picture there, I can choose to make it a little bit bigger, make it a little bit smaller. Now I'm going to go ahead and add some text. So I'm going to click the plus sign, click Text, and I'm going to go with the largest text right here. Then I'm going to go to the original and copy the text. So here's the original. I'm going to copy right here, and then I'll go back and paste. So the text color, we're going to change it to white. And then the word awesome was actually red. So we're going to go ahead and highlight that. We're going to change just the word awesome to a red color. And I'm going to bold it to make it stand out. And then we're going to move it over here. And that one's ready to go. Now we need another text box. So I'm going to click plus and text. And this one I'm going to choose maybe title medium and move it over here. And now we're going to go to the original and get our text. And I'm going to highlight this text and copy it and go back to our editor. And I'm going to double click in there, then triple click and paste. And now I'm going to triple click to highlight all of it and change it to white. But it's definitely way bigger than what was on our original. So I'm going to highlight it. And instead of title medium, let's see if we can maybe go body large. And that looks way better. But because I changed the style, it also changed the color. So I'm going to double click in there and then triple click in there, and I'll change the color back to white. And that's much better. So I like the way that's located, and it looks fabulous. So now let's look at our original and see what we're going to work on next. So now I've got these number counters. I've got 3 of them that are numbers and 1 of them that's a percentage. So let's go ahead and add those. And then also I've got some text underneath them, and we're going to add those. So let's go ahead and do that now. So I'm going to go to plus and then go to animated counters. And here are the counters that we used. And we need 3 of them that are numbers and 1 of them that's a percentage. So I'm going to click this and click one of these. So here's our number. I need 2 more of those, so I'm going to copy, paste, and paste. So I've got 3 of those that are numbers and 1 of them that's percentage. So that's actually great. And then I need 4 text boxes to go underneath that. I'm just going to copy this text box, and we'll put that underneath there, and I'm going to go and get the text from the first one. So satisfied clients. I'm going to copy that and then go back and double click and then triple click and highlight, and then it's on 1 line. I want it on 2 lines. And then I'm going to highlight it and choose white text. And so I've got that, but it's really, really small, right? We don't really want it that small. So let's go ahead and highlight it and see if we can change the format from body large to maybe there we go, title medium. Maybe 1 more to see what it looks like. Oh, that's a little bit too big. So let's go title medium. And of course that changed the color. So let's go ahead and change it back to white. So I'll highlight it and choose the white color. And for some reason it changed back to body large. So we'll go back to title medium and then white. There we go. So right now we're looking at 1,000 satisfied clients. I'm going to copy paste, put that under there, paste, put that under there, paste, and put that under there. So now we're getting the beginnings of what these number counters are going to look like. But let's go ahead and change the text right here to all the different text that we need. So I'm going to bounce over to the original, and I'm going to do completed projects. So I'm going to copy that and then go back and paste that in there. And it changed the text a little bit for me. So I'm going to highlight all of it and click white. And I've got an extra line in there, so I took that out. Let's do the third one. So I'm going to jump over to the original and do hours of work and copy. And back to the editor, we're going to click in there and paste it. And I got an extra line, and then I'm going to highlight and change it back to white. And then 1 more we're going to jump over, and that is satisfaction rate. I'm going to copy, go back to the editor, and click inside of there. And for this one, we want it on the same line. So we're going to get rid of that extra line, and we're going to get rid of the return and actually put them on the same line. So let's first change it to white. And now we'll actually change the size of this, and it puts it all on the same line. So we're starting to get there, but now we need to change the look of the number counter, right? So we didn't want 1,000 for each one of them, and we didn't want 100%. So let's take a look at what our original says. So our original says 136, 162, and 2350 on the numbers. So let's go ahead and change that. So I'm going to right click. I'm going to go to text, and I'm going to change it to 136. Confirm. This one, I'm going to change it to 162. And this one, I'm going to change to 2350. So now we're starting to look closer. And I believe the last one is going to be 100%. So now we're getting really close. The next thing I want to do is change the color of the numbers so that they are kind of a little bit different than just the plain old white. So let's go ahead and jump in there and change the colors. So the first thing I want to do in this one is change the background and the color of the text. So I'm going to right click, and I'm going to go to Appearance. And there's a couple of different styles. I'm going to go ahead and keep with the Fusion counter, and I'm going to click the gear to change the style. Now on the font, I can click on that, and I can change how the font looks, including bold and the size. I think I'm going to keep the size the way it is. No, I think I'll up it. So let's go ahead and up it to 75 maybe. Oh, that's great. That's really, really big. And I want you to notice that when I changed the size of this one, the other two changed as well. That's because they are the same exact style. If I go back here and click Return, I've got that Fusion Counter Custom number 1. These are the same style. So if I make a change to this one, it's going to make a change to the other two as well. So I'm going to go ahead and go into the settings. And I don't want a border on there. I don't want round borders. I don't want a shadow. Now I get to choose the color of the background. And I want the background to be transparent. So I'm just going to delete the color. And now you can see that the color is gone. When you hover, it's still there though. So we have to delete the hover color. So I'm just going to click the trash can. And now when I hover, there is no color on those. So that's great. And now I need to choose the color of the actual text. So the text right now is green. And on the original, it was kind of a bluish color. So let's see if we can kind of find that. That looks pretty good. Let's see what green looks. I may want to change the color. No, I don't want green. I think I will go with that kind of bluish color. That's fabulous. So, so I picked that blue color right there. So we want to make sure we remember that. So when we're doing this one, we can do the same thing. So that looks great. I'm going to go ahead and exit out of there. And we're not moving everything around yet. We'll do that in a minute. But let's go ahead and do the percentage one. So I'm going to right click. I'm going to go to Appearance. This one is Fusion Counter Custom. If I check mark this to be the original for the other two, it'll get the exact same formatting. So that's the really fast way to get the same formatting that the other three have. So we're looking really good. Now we're going to have to work through moving everything to put it exactly where we want it. And to do that, I'm going to actually do some boxes. So I'm going to go to plus, and I'm going to go to Boxes and Lines, and I'm going to choose a box. Now this is just a plain old ordinary box, but I'm going to right click it, and I'm going to go to Appearance, Color, and I'm going to get rid of the color. So I'm going to click the trash can. So now it's a transparent box, and I'm going to use this box to start organizing the way this looks. So I'm going to make it a little bit different size, and I'm going to put this item inside the box. So if you notice, when I click and drag, it goes into the box, okay? And then I'm going to take the Satisfied Clients, and I'm going to drag it, and I'm going to put it inside the box as well. So now I'm going to change the way that box looks a little bit. So I'm going to make it a little bit smaller, just like that, and a little bit shorter, just like that. And now I can start deciding exactly how I want that to look. So I'm going to right click it, and I'm going to choose Center Element, and it centers it right in the box. And then I'm going to choose this one and put it right under where that number is. Okay, so now I've got it positioned exactly like I want it, and if I want to move it, I have to move the box, and it keeps those two exactly together. That's why I like the box so much. So I'm going to copy the box. So I'm going to Control C and Control V. And when I did that, it actually brought the two elements in there with it. So I'm going to delete that one and delete that one. And I'm just going to copy that box 2 more times. So I've got 3 boxes that are sitting right there. I'm going to grab one of them, and I'm going to put 162 in there. And I'm going to put completed projects in there. And now I'm going to right click and go center, so it centers inside the box. And then on completed projects, I'm going to put it right up by that number, similar to the way I have the 136. So the spacing is the same. And then I'm going to grab the box and kind of line it up that way. So there we go. Now I'm going to do another box. Here's another box. I'm going to move it over here. I'm going to put 2350 in there, and I'll right click and center. Fabulous. And then hours of work. I'm going to put that real similar to what I did with the other ones. Then I'm going to click and drag and put it up there, kind of lining it up with the other ones. Now I've got one more box right here. I'm going to put the 100% in there, and I'm going to put the satisfaction rate in there. And it looks like I'm going to have to make that box just a little bit bigger to handle it. And then I'll shrink that up a little bit. Now I'm going to center the 100%. And then satisfaction rate, I'm going to put that in there real similar to the way I have the other ones. And then I'm going to take that box and click and drag it. So now I've got them all boxed up. It's going to be way easier to move them exactly where I want them. So what I'm going to do now is start to do some grid lines. And right here, I want these to come as close as I can to this area so I can conserve space. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on my ruler. I'm going to put a grid line in there. And I think I want them to be maybe right about there. So I'm going to grab that box, and I'm going to put my number right at the line like this. So the numbers are going to be lined up right at the line. So I'm going to click this area and line it up. And this area, I'm going to grab the box and line it up. And this area, grab the box and line it up. This one looks like it may not quite be center. Here's the center right here where that little circle is. So I'm going to scooch this over a little bit and scooch this one over a little bit. And now we look like we are really well centered. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the ruler. And then I'm going to go ahead and take the banner and actually start to shrink it a little bit. And that will conserve space, so we don't have a lot of wasted space inside of our website. And remember, you want to look at it closely and make sure about the same blank space up here is the same as the amount of blank space down here. That makes it look very even and makes it aesthetically pleasing to your visitors. So now we've completed the section 2 and section 3, and we're going to move on to continue to build our website inside of our Pixel Perfect Builder. Before we move on, we've done a lot of things to our website, so we need to remember to go to the top right hand side and click Save, and then Save again. And now we're ready to move on to the next section, so I will see you in the next video.